Well, there's nobody here yet, but we'll go ahead and welcome you to another week of Rain City Aurora. I'm Butler.
I'm Neil.
I'm Detroit Rick. How y'all doing, baby?
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Happy
Thanksgiving to you guys. I wish I could be there. Medical issues kept me out this year, but we'll be back as long as I live through the end of the year. We'll
did you get it enlarged or shortened? I can't remember.
Definitely enlarged. I'm not going to be smaller than Rick, that's for sure.
Did they color match with the cadaver?
They did what they could do with my leg muscle. So now okay. I'm thinner in the lower leg and thicker in the crotch area.
There we go.
Hey, what a heartbreaker, huh?
It was. Yeah. It hurt to walk away from the game without a win, but overall, it was a really good game.
It was a good game.
It was one of the better games that they've played this year. I feel like
it was the best game I've ever seen on Thanksgiving. Besides when we win, obviously.
You bring that up because the Detroit gets a lot of bashing. The NFL gets a lot of bashing for keeping the tradition with the Lions because Lions have been the joke of Thanksgiving for a few years. Today was an entertaining game for anybody that's even not a football fan that was casually watching. You know what I mean? So that was important for Detroit to step up and play a good game against a Super Bowl contending team. So I think that was huge in aspects of the NFL and marketing, keep the Lions in this tradition.
Yeah, we're never losing that game. If the NFL takes that game from us, it's the end of an era, and I just don't see that happening. But
yeah.
Hey, Albert, happy Boxing Day to you. Isn't that what it is up there? I don't know. Canada. Thanks, buddy. We appreciate it. The game was awesome. It was a good game. It was entertaining. It was close. Obviously, we looked at some big pivotal points in that game that could have been changed. I don't know.
The turnovers killed us this week.
Yeah.
And then did we have two turnovers, or did we had two fumbles?
I honestly don't know. I just remember the Jamal Williams one. So
well,
I thought we only had one. Did we have two?
I think that there were two fumbles, but I think we only lost one. Now I think about it.
Yeah.
But that one hurt. The missed field goal hurt. Especially when at the end of the game we lose it by 3 points. But St. Brown had a really good day.
I think in fantasy, he got me like 28 points.
Did he?
He had over 100 yards. I know that.
Oh, that's cool. Good.
I think he ended up with like 113 is what I saw.
Yeah. Goff.
122.
Well, we can talk about Goff all day long, but again, the same thing I said last week. I thought it was missed routes, but now when we were sitting, we could see a whole different perspective of the game, and he's just floating that ball. There was two times where
I've told you he throws it like a duck.
Man, we had guys wide open, and that one where he lofted up in the air, and it just that was touchdown money right there.
When he's on, and it comes back to the big secret that all these NFL teams could do to beat us the rest of the year, and they don't do it, is watch Rain City roar. If he throws across the middle on a slant, it's money. Money on a slant. Anything else, any sort of play action, any sort of inside outside, any sort of curl, it's 30-70 chance of it making it. So
the thing that confuses me is other teams' fan bases thinks that Goff is not a bad quarterback, and our fan base seems to think they tend to lean heavier towards he's not a good quarterback. Towards the third of last season, he played well. He started off on fire at the beginning of this season, and he's just been after that. And like we were talking to some Bills fans and stuff on the walk back here, but the one guy, he seemed to really know football and stuff, and he was really knowledgeable about our players and everything. And he was like, I don't really think that Goff is as bad as you guys think that he is. But then we actually sit there and watch the game, and he just misses too many throws, and it's an uncomfortable amount of throws that he misses.
And he was under pressure a lot today, to be fair to him, but that's not an unusual game for him to play exactly the way he played.
The ones he
you guys froze on me.
Zoom in front of the receiver. I mean, 2 or 3 yards in front of the wide open receivers. A couple times, it's wide open. Oh, fuck. And there was the boss pulling away.
Yeah. GearUpDetroit.shop. Use coupon code RCR25 off. There's a new shirt coming up that we got a preview of. Did you guys see that shirt Jeff sent?
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I like
Pretty
that
cool.
a lot.
So we'll hopefully have that up next week, and we'll bring up a video of that. Yeah, I mean, really, the only thing we can say about this is the defense played pretty good. The offense played.
I think the defense should be applauded today for how well that they played.
Yeah, they had them. They've had them a while. They had them. They kept the points down.
There were a couple chunk plays that they gave up. The one
at third downs, we cannot stop a third down to save our life.
Right.
No,
there were a couple that we stopped, but it's been like that all year.
Yeah. It was overall against the caliber of team that we played today. I can't complain too much. I mean, the clock management towards the end of the game was terrible.
Clock management towards the end of the first half was terrible. We should have won in the first half, not down by 3. It was the way that they handled that first half was just miserable. And then missing that. Yeah, well, we talked about that all year. The clock management needs help. And I don't know who's going to do it, but it's not Dan Campbell.
It needs a lot. It needs a lot of help. And it needs to change quick. But got this really cool towel. They get that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. They get that to everybody that came to the game?
Yeah.
You know,
hey, I know there's not a lot of people watching real quick. Sorry, Neil. There's not a lot of people watching. So if you guys drop any comments, we're not going to make it super long today. I know everybody's having Thanksgiving. We just want to get on and say howdy. But
first off, how dare you hang out with your families instead of us? That's rude.
Exactly. Who wants to hang out with their families anyways? Notice all of us are here.
You don't talk to them 364.25 days a year, and now you guys are just putting in the little show right now so you can get a full belly and then hopefully get a Christmas gift. So we know the drill. So and somebody's always got that weird uncle.
I asked you, Neil. It seemed to me like on the podcast or on the regular video cast on whatever channel that was on. It seemed like there were a lot of Bills fans there.
There was a ton of Bills fans.
So yeah, there. I don't think a lot of them went home last weekend. or on Sunday.
They were cheering at the completely wrong times, like you talked about before on this podcast. They were screaming when the Lions had the ball, and I'm like, what's going on down there?
No, that was all Bills fans.
Yeah, after they had a big play, that the Bills fans jumped up.
And to be honest, they were fucking irritating.
Okay. They weren't that bad.
They were that bad. They got
so I mean they're a little bit loud. One guy kept talking to himself, hoping to get a reaction, but he said a lot of things several times, and nobody reacted. And he was like, "Nobody." Like, no, nobody. We're not going to bite on that. We're professionals.
Well, towards the end of the game, though, it seemed like it was uproarious in there. I mean, it was freaking crazy. There was just so much volume towards the end of the game.
That's the loudest I've ever heard at Ford Field.
It was loud. It was loud in there today. So, like right off the get-go, the Bills fans were loud. Like I would say that probably a quarter of the fans there, maybe a little bit more, were Bills fans, and man, they were noisy. And I was like, holy crap, these guys are bringing it today. This is not okay. This is not home field advantage at all. And then the Lions started doing things, and then the Lions crowd got into it, and it's like, oh, okay, we're a little bit louder, but not much. It was overall a really loud game. I think when everybody was at their height, they were in the 110 to 115 decibel range, so not quite Seattle loud, but it was noisy in there.
Yeah, I was really praying for an overtime, man. I wanted just to be in there longer and watch some more of this game and overtime. And then how many yards was that first down play, the first play, and when they had 20-something seconds left?
Yeah, and it comes down to clock management again in the second half. You know, they shouldn't have left that much time on the clock.
And Neil said that too. Never left much time on the clock.
Yeah, so but it I don't know. I guess it's easy when we're out here watching it on the sidelines and at home, but
it's kind of hard.
I mean, the thing is Tony Romo. You know Tony Romo. He's nailing it every friggin' play. He's calling it the entire time. He's like, okay, they need to run the clock out. What are they doing? Why haven't they called a timeout? like towards the end of the third quarter when they should have called that timeout, 27 seconds left, or they went down to 14 before they called the timeout, and then fortunately the penalty put the 27 back to 20. But the whole time, I mean, so if Tony Romo's up there and we're sitting there, we're idiots. What's going on with the coaching?
I don't know. I don't know. It seems like it should be easier. It seems like it should be able to be a code that can get cracked, but they're just not cracking it. The team is playing harder, but still, I think they're getting left out to dry a little bit by the coaching staff, and that's the maybe it's just the inexperience or whatever it might be. But that was a winnable game today.
Very winnable.
That was totally a winnable game, and you can do whatever kind of silver lining cliche word that you hang on the wall at the in the kitchen dining room table or whatever. You know,
Live, laugh, love.
Live, laugh, love. Yeah, that's what I was going for. But at the end of the day, we still lost. You know, so that sucks. But this was overall a really good trip.
Yeah,
this was a good trip. I drink Mai Tais, I drink margaritas, I drink Guinness, I drink whiskey, I drink regular old-fashioned Coors Light. I drink all kinds of stuff on this trip.
I went to the Wings game last night. They won.
Yeah, I saw that. It was cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
You didn't go with Megan?
She didn't show. She had to work. She's a nurse, and she had to work late. She couldn't get out of her in time.
Right on. All right. Well, yeah. Hey, happy Thanksgiving, Ralph. Happy Thanksgiving to all you guys. ML Smith. There we go. Because Dan Campbell's a moron. How many times that have to be said? I don't know. I know I can't. Again, you can't put it all on Dan Campbell. I mean, he's the head coach. Yes. The buck stops there. Yes. And he's going to say that in the press conference afterwards. Yes. But there needs to be people in his ear going clock management. So,
yeah, it needs to happen. But I don't know if that happens. I don't know if it happens this year or what. But the good thing is we got a fairly winnable schedule for the rest of the season. That was in my opinion, the hardest game that we had left to play. They only get easier in terms of opponents on the rest of the way out. So the team could still make a run. And the way the rest of the North's playing right now, I don't think it's unfathomable to say that we're sitting here in 2 or 3 weeks still having this discussion about them potentially being able to at least get like a wild card spot or be in the talks for the division. The coaching staff is going to be what makes or breaks it, though.
Yeah, I don't even care about the playoffs at this point. I just want, and that's the thing. People are all, they should be tanking for the draft pick again. God, how many times we got to say this? They are never going to do that.
They're already doing that for us.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's happening either way. But I want them to win some games, and I think that honestly, every game this year, can we say one game where they got blown out? I mean, every game was close.
New England.
The Patriot game was the one.
New England.
So, other than that, I mean, they were all a couple score games, one score games. So,
right.
Yeah. Matthew Morris, player performance of the week candidates. I don't want to say Goff, but I think we have to say Goff. Jamal Williams again, just as option.
Who's the defensive kid that came off the practice squad and had 2 sacks?
Dude, I don't even know his name. I saw him up on the thing.
Houston, right?
Was it Houston?
Might have been Houston because they said Houston, we have a problem. Yeah, James Houston, 59. I'm getting to Houston, but
yeah, good on him.
He's a starter now.
Yeah. He's not going to
was getting called a lot today.
Yeah, Rodriguez had a good game.
He did have a good game. He made that big play on that screen. Came up and just clobbered that guy.
Yeah, he did.
St. Brown had a good game. There were a couple really good individual performances out there today. Hutchinson was pretty quiet. They had him rushing from the left side a lot today, and he wasn't winning those matchups, at least not from what we were able to see from where we were sitting.
Something you guys didn't see, but I know everybody listening and watching right now saw because we're all watching on the broadcast was Jim Nance, right before we missed that field goal, jumped on and he decided to be a smart ass and goes, you can't, because it was like a 29-yard chip shot, right?
Uh-huh.
Because you can't talk about announcers curse or jinx but Bagley hasn't missed an extra point or field goal all year. And literally right after he said that, he kicked the ball and pulled it. And Romo just got on him. I mean, they came back from a commercial and he wanted to replay it, and then Nance wouldn't let him replay it. I'm surprised he got out of that stadium alive.
Yeah,
it was a pretty awesome announcer thing. So,
There were a ton of people there today. A ton of people.
It was packed. It took a long time to get out
I'm
of that
just
stadium.
surprised it wasn't louder the whole game until
It was super loud. I don't know if it was on TV, but it was super loud in there.
They must have pumped it up towards the end because it seemed to me like it was just really flat. And then when the Bills would make a big play, you'd hear everybody, and I'm like, what the fuck's going on? So,
yeah.
And then the dumbass halftime show, they had them the back to the whole crowd singing to the freaking corridor.
Yeah, I read that on Twitter. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't watch that.
It was
Directly up over our shoulder, and you could see like two of the backup dancers, but they like had it up on the screen.
But they were facing the other direction. They were facing the hallway inside the corridor where other restaurants and bars,
Definitely wasn't on the field.
National anthem looked a little rough too. That guy struggled a little bit.
Yeah.
That's a hard song. That's a hard song to sing, but I mean that guy he hit a couple notes. I was like,
Yeah, especially if you have short notice and you've never heard it before. I can see how that's a really difficult song.
All right. You guys got any comments before we wrap it up here? We're going to keep it a short podcast, even though we have a lot of people watching. Nobody's commenting. So, like I said, overall, I'm not disappointed in the game. It was a good game. It was a good national game. I'm happy that we put up the fight we put up. I'm not bummed like I usually am when we lose. So,
well, I said it before and I'll say it again. The Lions make me fucking drink.
Alcoholism makes you drink, Rick.
Something that surprised me today was, first off, I didn't realize how big Kaminsky was. He's a large human.
He's fast for how big he is, then.
Yeah, and kudos to him for being out there with, I believe, was a broken hand. He had it all casted up, and he had the club going on. That dude, you can tell he got winded towards the end of the game pretty well, but he's a big guy.
The other kid, starts with an A. Not Anzalone. Ellen McNeil.
Aleem McNeil, yeah.
Holy moly. That guy's 325 pounds, 6'2".
Yeah, he's a stout fella.
It's a big boy.
As big as he is, he's super fast.
Yeah.
I mean, I was watching him. I was like, wow, that's impressive.
We got a Deshaun in the house. Deshaun went with us.
What's going on, everybody?
How you doing, bud?
DJ. Yeah, John.
Struggled with the loss, but it was a great game to come out and watch.
Is Deshaun wearing a Stafford jersey?
Absolutely.
Yes,
Who else would I wear?
He's not going to wear golf.
Was I supposed to
Sean is wearing a Stafford jersey.
Was I supposed to wear your guys' golf jersey or what?
Just as much shit as we talked Stafford over the years. Just do you be wearing a Stafford jersey?
He's a championship quarterback now. I can't talk any more shit about him. So what am I supposed to say?
Unbelievable.
You're not wrong.
Unbelievable. Good to see you, buddy. What do you think of the game, Deshaun?
The Lions, like normal, find a way to keep you hanging on to the last minute with hope. If there's ever a team with hope, the Lions have it. Because you are holding on to the last minute, thinking they're going to win that fucking game. So, yeah.
Hope.
Yep.
That close.
That close.
That close.
My dick legs close.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if we have no more questions, I think we'll wrap it up for the week. You guys probably be glad to be home and rested up, get back to work, right?
Shit, I'm going to Myrtle Beach tomorrow.
Oh, that's right. Rick's extending his vacation.
I just want to go home now. I'm done.
Got some food to eat, got some flights to catch. It should be need a couple days to unwind from this one. So
right.
But definitely appreciate everybody hanging out with us 2 times in 5 days. That means a lot, and especially on a day like today when, like I said, your family is there and you're obviously avoiding hanging out with them. So that's cool too. But who's that? Oh,
Albert.
Yeah. Yeah, happy Thanksgiving to you guys. I got a deep fry prime rib and do some other stuff. I know you guys got to eat, so
it's not. I don't believe it till I see it, Butler.
I'll send you pics. You know.
Okay.
Does it look like Kirk Cousins steaks?
Yeah, right.
Oh yeah, we got Kirk Cousins in 2 weeks, so maybe I should take some video and get that ready.
Maybe.
Oh, and I will tell you as we get ready to sign off here, Deshaun. We'll talk about it offline. But Deshaun, I think, cracked the code on something that we need to do for the end of the season. And I think that you guys will love it if we can pull this off. So I'll hit you up.
About us as the podcast or the team?
Yeah, us as the podcast.
Okay. All right, cool. Sounds good.
Cool,
no teaser? That's the teaser?
That's the teaser.
That's Caesar.
Okay.
It'll make the show much more watchable. I'll say that.
Rick will be real happy if we pull this off. Rick will be real happy.
And we might be kicked off of this show. So.
Hey, where's my Montucky girl at?
Oh, yeah, I can pull her up for you real quick.
We got to show our sponsor. Oh, geez. Not you, Butler. There she is.
There you go,
Bless
buddy.
her heart.
Yeah, Montucky, remember, guys are awesome. They can use their snack finder to find beer all over Detroit. This was from last week. I did Taylor, but you could do, if you're still at Ford Field, I mean, same thing. You can use it and find some beer close to you. So happy Thanksgiving from Rain City Roar and Detroit Sports Nation. I am Butler.
I'm Neil.
Deshaun, happy Thanksgiving.
Detroit Rick, happy Thanksgiving. Peace